Hi, I'm Everett, and welcome back to AutoLooks.net. Today we're looking at how the automotive industry has not really changed over the past 100 years. Now, take a look at the airplane industry and how it's changed over 100 years. Back then, it used to be wood and canvas planes taking you around, which now you get these giant cylinders basically cresting the edge of space. And, well, essentially they evolved into rocket ships that now take you into space. The automotive industry, on the other side, has really not evolved fully. We're kind of de-evolving ourselves right now with the release of brand new CUV coupes. Yes, crossover utility coupes are essentially just sedans raised up in a coupe profile, right? Now, take a look back over 100 years ago. What vehicles did we see back in 1917 roaming the streets of North America? Well, and other places around the world. A Ford Model T and a Chevrolet Series 490. Now, why would we say that this really is, CUV coupe is an evolution of the Model T and the Chevrolet Series 490? Let's take a look at what the actual CUV coupe does. The Mercedes G-Class coupes basically bring you anywhere down a dirt road that you want to go to. Well, what did the Ford Model T do? It took you from your farmhouse into the city, and you really didn't have to make a road across your farmer's field. You could just drive straight through the corn cobs. And essentially, that's what the G-Class coupe can do. It can take you straight through those corn cobs. The same thing as that Ford Model T back over 100 years ago did. Now, we're not saying that the automotive industry right now has de-evolved itself for the better, but in a sense, it really has. And we've kind of taken a step back to say, hey, what was great over 100 years ago? What made people come out and go driving again? Well, the Ford Model T. What did that thing actually was over 100 years ago? It was a cross-track. As you may see on our websites, cross-track or trekking models. Ford Model T would actually classify into one of those categories now. It wouldn't classify as a sedan. Why? Because it went everywhere. Like we said, it would take you from your farmhouse into the city. It would take you from dirt back roads onto major highways. Now, being where I live here, I actually get to see some of these old highways. Actually, just 15 minutes down the road, I can see the original Trans-Canada Highway that was built in the 1920s and how it basically followed the railroad tracks and cut up and over every single rock cut that it could. They didn't blast through mountains. They took out a small amount of rock. But you got to think about the tools and everything that they had at the time, right? They didn't have to worry about vehicles ripping out the bottom ends of their vehicles. Now, next to that, on Highway 17, I can actually see the next evolution in the 50s when we started getting into more of the radial tires, lower vehicles, and actual sedans that we see in commonplace today. That highway, well, let's just say we can take a nice lowered Civic or Ferrari or Lamborghini, something flying down that, and we don't have to worry about that. But you want to go off and drive that old back highway, that's a different story. You might need one of these Ford Model Ts, or in this place, a Mercedes G-Class Coupe. Now, we get it, AutoLooks.net has not rated the G-Class Coupe. Great on its design. But for its follow-through, it actually brings back over 100 years of history to the automotive industry. We're kind of de-evolving ourselves to revolutionize the automotive industry. We're going back over 100 years to bring us forward 100 years. Sure, green technology like the Tesla Roadster, the Tesla Transport, the Thor Transport, hey, Faraday Futures vehicles. They're all brand new, great new things for history. But just like the CUV Coupe, the Tesla Roadster is not something new. It is 100 years worth of history that have brought us to this as well. Take a look back at Detroit Electric and the original Detroit Electric vehicles from 1915. 100 years later, Detroit Electric is back with a sports car. Like I said, the automotive industry right now seems to be going back to where it began over 100 years ago to bring itself forward for the next 100 years. So when somebody actually tells you, hey, check out that brand new G-Class Coupe, you can just look at them and say, hey, that's been done before, over 100 years ago. I don't know where you've been, but you might need a history lesson. This is Everett from AutoLooks saying, maybe follow up with a little bit of history, take a look back, and do some research. Maybe you'll find out that there were some amazing things in our past that are actually coming back to light today. This is Everett from AutoLooks saying, strap yourself in and hold on for this one wild ride on AutoLooks.net. Keep following.